Oh hi, facts. Whether they're true or alternative, at the very least they fulfill your deadline to your editor and you can sleep well in that Murphy bed above the rundown pizzeria that is your life. Or maybe that's just a novel that I'm workshopping. Regardless, the video that I was going to make today is taking longer than expected, and then I stumbled across this video from Christopher and I was like, yes! A list video, the online equivalent of a clip show. I can do that. By the way, I would encourage you to go and watch Christopher's video. I assure you, it'll be much funnier than this. So in no particular order, here are 21 facts about me, Kyle Marshall, the creator of this program. I am 6 foot 4 inches tall, and it's usually the first thing people notice when they meet me in real life. Like, I didn't think you're gonna be that tall. And I've heard all the questions like, did you love to play basketball? Where did you get your height from? How's the weather up there? And my answer to all three of those are, how dare you look at me in the eye? I've never traveled outside of North America. Canada and the United States are the only two places I've ever been, and it kills me. Top of my list are Japan and Scotland, two very similar countries. I'm legally blind in my right eye, so if you're waving at me on my right-hand side and it looks like I'm ignoring you, there's a high probability that I am, but it's also because I can't see very good, even with glasses on. I can play the clarinet. I was in the school band for 6 years, and I got to travel all over Canada because of how good our band program was. The unfortunate thing is, nobody finds the clarinet player hot, so all throughout high school I got to learn how to do the fingering myself. I'm usually filled with anxiety, nothing that's been officially diagnosed, but you know that feeling when you wake up in the morning and you feel like you're about to cry and then it lasts the entire day? That's my life. I really love show business, but I'm talking like the old-timey show business from like the 50s and 70s, and I apologize to anyone who feels like I've insulted them by saying that, but I'm talking people like Bob Hope or Jack Benny and the original Rat Pack. That's the type of stuff that I just love. There's a joke that my friends like to make that they figure I should have been born in the 1940s. I just support less racism. I love the idea of hosting. For the longest time, I had it in my head that I wanted to become a late night TV talk show host. David Letterman was my guy, and there was Johnny Carson, who was this god amongst entertainers. I did convince myself for a small fraction of time that I was going to be the one to replace Dave Letterman after he retired, because honestly, like, what has Colbert done for you lately? Going along with this idea of hosting, I was obsessed with award shows growing up, to the point where I joked that I never really wanted to win an Oscar, I wanted to host the Oscars, which probably will never happen. Although, you never know, maybe they're clamoring to hire unknown YouTubers. But bisexual, but most of you already know that. I like dudes and girl dudes. I call them goods. Nope. No one should do that. I think I was about 4 years old, and we had this spare bedroom downstairs that had 2 beds on opposite sides of the room. And I loved being able to jump from one bed to the other like I was Indiana Jones or something, except for this one time where I missed my landing and I just cracked the back of my head against the bed frame and split my head wide open. So my parents rushed me to the hospital. They had to hold me down along with the nurses and the doctors, and they actually stapled my head back together. To this day, the sound of a stapler just grosses me out. I've shed real human tears at only 2 moments in wrestling. Number 1 was the Ric Flair retirement match, and the other was Diamond Dallas Page's speech that he gave when he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, which I think, even if you don't like wrestling, works as a great motivational tool. I've seen every single Godzilla film. Every single one. That's over 30 of them that were made in Japan and the 2 American-made ones. Most of them are pretty awful, but the first one is legitimately great, and there's a few others that, you know, deserve a little bit of a chuckle. Never watch Son of Godzilla. Growing up, New York seemed like this mythical place where dreams went to blossom or to putrefy in a horrifying dumpster death. The first time I went, it was magical. I finally got to see Broadway for the first time. I ate great food. The people seemed to be all nice. It does stink like garbage, though. Broadway musicals. To fall into that stereotype, my supposed gay side, I fell in love with musical theater when my grade 5 teacher introduced us to Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, and then by the time I was in high school, instead of rocking out to the alternative or the grunge scene that was happening, I was listening to Les Mis and Phantom and pretty much anything else I could get my hands on. Oh, the Smashing Pumpkins. Yes. I have heard of them. I grew up on a farm. We moved there when I was 6. We joined the 4-H club, and I got to raise a calf from the time it was born to the time that we had to sell it at the year-end sale. And those were the best pictures I could share with you. Somehow I lost some original footage here. I was gonna say that I've been skydiving a total of 1 time in my entire life, and I didn't feel scared until I was actually in the plane, and then this feeling of dread started coming over me, to the point where they actually had to push me out of the plane. And then it was just a simple barrel roll and then a friendly float down to earth. If you're gonna go, I recommend strapping a friendly Swede to your back. I have a near encyclopedic knowledge of The Simpsons from season 1 to about season 13, whose episodes I've conservatively seen about 10 times each. There was a time when I was obsessed with this show, and it was the first fandom that I got involved with when I got the internet finally. I joined this message group called the No Homers Club, and I wrote reviews for something called TV.com before it was bought out by, I'm pretty sure it was Yahoo. They ruin everything. To get real for a moment, I never really truly believed that people like me. It kind of takes 4 years of you wanting to continually do stuff that I might start to kind of think that you want to be my friend. And this is why your brain lies to you all the time. I lost a lot of weight and was getting into really fantastic shape up until about 2 months ago, where because of my business I'm trying to run, I kind of stopped going to the gym, and now I feel sadder and weaker and just fatter, as my pants can attest to. The plan is to drive a Route 66 this October with my father. This is going to be really exciting and also, I think, just a little bit awkward. I'm pretty convinced I've never had a conversation that's lasted over 20 or 30 minutes with my dad, so we'll see how this goes. But the video is going to be awesome. Finally, in about 40 days, I'm going to be attending my 9th VidCon. And I've kind of accepted the fact that I'm never probably going to be YouTube famous, but that doesn't mean that I can't make a living in online video. I'm really excited about the projects that I'm creating and the other projects that I'm helping other people to create. So I'm really excited about the future. And if you're there at VidCon, come say hi. All right, those are 21 facts, at least facts that I feel comfortable sharing with you, the audience of this carefully crafted creation that we call Kyle. What are some facts about you? Let me know down in the comments below, and also don't forget to do all the other stuff around the perimeter of this YouTube video. We'll talk soon. That's a double entendre. Entendre.